May I now please invite the chief guest for our program today, Ms. Khushi Kabir, to the lectern to share a few words about her experience here today.
Thank you very much. Very encouraging to come here and see a hall full of people and many standing to and listening to an extremely interesting set of thoughts, provocative, perceptive, in many ways touches us in ways that are beyond just the senses, this physical sense of touch to another kind of touch that was also discussed. When I was first invited, it was Asfar who called me. I was a bit bemused, and for a couple of reasons. But I said yes immediately. I love challenges. Anything that challenges me, I'll say yes. And the challenges were one is that I was described as a writer. I don't know if I would call myself a writer, but yes, then yesterday I was having a discussion with my daughter who doesn't stay here, but we have our nightly conversations. And she said, when did you become a writer? And then her partner, her spouse, said, yes, if you take all the things that she writes on her Facebook, all these different poems, they're quite deep. So it could be, she could be a writer. And I said, no, I think some things I've written have been published. So I guess that could call me a writer. I write letters. I write, unfortunately, boring proposals and reports. But I also sometimes, when I'm very impassioned, write about some things that I feel very committed about. So I said, okay, so if they call me a writer, why not? I've been described as many things. Yesterday night I met a young girl who studied in India, and she didn't know who I was because I was amidst a whole group of artists and young artists. So she said, what do you do? I said, that's a very good question. It's a question that I always ask myself because I really don't know what I do. I know what I feel, so I know what I speak. So in the five senses, and the sixth sense is what probably drives the five senses. I thought it would be interesting to come here and listen and then say a few words. It is called the Battle of the Senses. And in a battle, one assumes that one has to be a winner and there has to be losers. I don't believe in losers and winners. I think one only loses when one gives up. If you never give up, you never lose. So the battle continues. So there's no winners as such. But the battles will continue, and the battles has to continue. But what was interesting also was, here I am, a female, in a galaxy of male stars. You knew I was going to say that. Predictable as ever. So I was wondering, now I don't like to stereotype and generalize, so I don't think all males are patriarchal in their own minds. Just as I don't think all women are feminists in their own minds or do not carry patriarchal values. So I was pleasantly surprised that I did get a sense of all kinds in the 6 speakers that we had. And I was interested that, I don't know whether it was certain comments that came in different posts on an all-male panel, the kind of people, do I want to go and listen to men only talk about sex? Or is it people asking, only men have this ability to talk about the senses? So I thought, okay, being the only female, it would be interesting to see what's happening and then see what my position could be. I do claim myself to be a feminist, and I'm very proud to claim myself as a feminist. And the reason I state this today, standing here, is because a lot of people are afraid of the word feminist. And I think there are a lot of men who are feminists, just as a lot of women are absolutely patriarchal in their whole structure and systems and their mindset. It was very interesting listening to everybody. I love the way the play of the words, looking at, because everybody is a teacher of literature and English literature, of how they brought in different aspects, their perceptions of some of the things that I've read, and I've had a different perception too, and their perceptions of how they brought this out. It's beautiful to listen to people who can string words together, which almost sounds like poetry, and Asfar did read out his most magnificent poem to us, which I think stirred. He seemed to have been the star before he even stood up. He started getting claps more than anybody. It's good to be a visiting professor. When you're a visiting professor, you don't see one every day, so then when you come for a short time, everybody's very excited. So, you know, he can get his aura. So, yeah, but I feel that it is important that when we look at the census, one of the first things that came to my mind is I work with an NGO and often get invited to speak at different places. And one was people who are who face disabilities, who have been born with disabilities. So it was a very big, a huge, at the Bangabandhu International Convention Center main hall, totally filled with people from all over, NGOs and other institutions working with people with different forms of disabilities. So, you know, when we get up to speak, we speak a few words and we say all the politically right things that need to be said. So we said, you know, in the NGO world, we should start opening up and invite, getting people and recruiting people, because one of the points that was raised was here were people with disabilities who've had the right education but never get the jobs, because we assume that people with disabilities cannot ever do the work that people who supposedly have the abilities do. And I said, I think we should open up and do that. And I used my own example when I first started working and decided to be a field worker in the early 70s, immediately after a liberation war. Why should only the men be out in the villages doing the rebuilding? I mean, what's wrong with us? So they were saying that as you woman, people won't accept you. You won't be able to accept the harsh conditions. No electricity, no toilets, no running water, no roads. And I know that the challenges I faced, which I had to prove that I was as good, if not better, than the others. So I said, okay, I think we should all open up. I brought in, I said that, and then a few days later, a group of young people came who were visually challenged. And they said, when you said that, would you recruit us? And I said, okay. He said, they all said that, were you just saying it for the sake of saying, or were you serious? So I said, okay, I'll take the challenge and recruit you as field workers, where they have to live in the village and go and work with the villagers and talk to them and try and develop the villagers to have their own agency, to be able to make their mark in society and with their surroundings as citizens with equal rights as guaranteed in our Constitution. So, will you be willing to do that? The only thing I will do is that people bike, we'll give the rickshaw for you to go, because it's not physically possible. And they took the challenge. So I learned how to look at things from a different view of looking, or sight is not always the physical sight. And one lesson is that when we have every year a monthly gathering of all the staff, because we don't believe in democracy, etc., different modes of getting everyone to talk together, the first night we show a film, a good film, so that everybody talks about it. So after the film was over, I said, okay, well, let's discuss what you thought about it. somebody who was visually impaired got up and I said, oh my God, I'm so insensitive. Here I'm showing a film to someone who gets her apology. I said, you want to speak, that's very good, and I really apologize. I didn't think about it. And she looked at me, and she looked at me in the sense that she talked to me and said, why are you apologizing? I don't see you. I don't see anything around me. I don't see the color of the grass, but I can feel it. And just as I see the world and work in this world and live in this world and enjoy this world without my visual sight, I also see the film in the same way. So why should I be deprived of seeing the film because I cannot physically, visually see it? That remained with me, and I realized sight is what you all have mentioned, is beyond just it's the gaze, it's how you look at what is around you. I think all of you have done such a wonderful presentation. It was supposed to be light. I'm being serious, but it was supposed to be light. But you brought in, every single one of you brought in a lot of serious thought. And I'm glad to know that this is being recorded so that all your discussions can be used as lectures, not just for this university, but beyond too. Because I think that debate, I think one of the biggest problems we have in our country is a lack of space for debate and understanding and opening one's mind and learning to absorb as one wishes. Why do I love books? I love books because you can converse with the book yourself in the way you wish, rather than being conversed to. And I'm sure most of people who read books do the same. They just don't read the book. You converse with the book. And the book brings in all the 5 senses, which leads to the 6th sense. And the 6th sense is, as you would, I think it's very, for us, it can be as it was, as you want it to be. It's not something that's given. The 6th sense can be described as you yourself would like to describe your 6th sense. You may not agree and call it the 6th sense, but there is something within you that makes you go beyond the immediate and what is absolutely, seems to be apparent. I mean, that's what reading does to us, because the same book may be read by 5 people and understood, and the points of the book are taken separately, and that's when you can debate about books. And the same would be with smell, with touch, with taste. I mean, everything. I mean, I look at myself now. My mother was a great cook. I never went into the kitchen. But now, I recall the taste of the food she made, and because I like food, I try and see what did she put into it, because now I can distinguish between the different ingredients. So I can tell the lady who helps me in the house with the cooking as to try this out in this way and that way, and some memory from somewhere of how she did it comes back. And it almost comes near to that, though I never went into the kitchen. So there is something about taste which is also bringing in other things. And I don't think one can look at one without the other. And it's not just the physical sound, positive, negative, the cacophony of Dhaka city. I think it's the noisiest city in the world. And there are a lot of noisy cities in the world. The taste and how taste differs, something that one likes, another doesn't like. It's just, you go to a restaurant with a group of people and you never know, you've never ordered right, because some people may like exactly what you ordered, some people may hate what you ordered. So it's, the taste is something that remains within you and something that you still, some things make a big mark on you, some don't. And I think it would be the same for everything that is possible. I feel that if some of the participants here, I think a few, I would say, would call themselves feminists. I hope so. There were stronger, really, feminists whose main ingrained feminism is within them. The talk would have been a little more interesting and diverse. I'm not saying that it wasn't interesting, it was, but the diversity would come in much more. And whereas I wouldn't agree with everything that has been stated, and it's not correct for everyone, I think it's very important not to agree with everything that's stated. It's very important that we all start questioning and trying to understand, even if we agree, why do we agree with it? And if we don't agree, be very clear in understanding why we don't agree and where we don't agree. And I think that's very important. For me, Nora, and for all of us, Nora, when she walks out, it's not that she had a happy home, not a happy life. That last statement of walking out is the culmination of what a large number of women live. Apparently, nothing wrong, but yes, inside, and I don't know when it is not part of the 5 senses nor the 6th sense, but it is the feeling, which is not the same as touch, of what one goes through, the mindset one goes through. Her walking out is the most important, I think, for all of us, moment in defining agency. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much, Nora, for inviting me and giving me the pleasure of spending this lovely morning talking with all of you.